Support my content by becoming a patron on patreon.com/JaianMusic.
Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Anime Podcasters. I'm your host, Hotshot Ginger, and with me I have my fabulous co-host, the Maple Leaf, Maple Syrup 459, I forgot the number, JaianMusic. How's it going, buddy?
Why do you make fun of me with that intro every time? Maybe I say anime, whatever, that's cool. But, like, you don't need, when I say Hotshot, do the intro, do your thing. Don't do my thing and in a mocking way. Like, I can see.
You gotta understand.
I can see through it.
You gotta understand. My thing is making fun of you.
I know. I'm sick.
That is my thing.
Stop it.
You give me the power and you reap what you sow, my friend.
Yes. Okay. Today, the podcast, we have reached a cross path here. We might just get lynched for doing this podcast because a lot of people do not like this anime. And I'm going to try to convince Hotshot to watch this anime.
Which is why I'm going to say this now. That intro is going to be the happiest you guys have heard me all podcasts.
Okay, Hotshot. The last podcast, we said we were going to do 7 Deadly Sins, but then you only watched one season, and it's been decades since the first season. Not actually, but you know what I mean. And so we were like, let's do another list thing. And you're like, no, we do too many lists. So I'm like, okay, why should you watch Boruto? The Next Generation. And I feel like it was one of those, screw it. All right.
Yeah, it totally is one of those, screw it. All right.
But that's like 65 episodes of this podcast at this point.
It really is. It really is. Like, if I decide something, you say screw it. If you say something, I say screw it. It works, except when it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good. All right. So, Hotshot, initial thoughts on Boruto. You've watched clips. You've played the game. You've read Wikipedia articles about 2 minutes ago. What are your thoughts here when you look at this setup? You know, Naruto Shippuden ends. 500 episodes. Great ending. But then we have more. Why? Hotshot, what are your thoughts?
That's exactly my thought. You just said my thought exactly then. Great ending, great story, great characters. Why do we have more? Why do we need more? We don't. End the story there. End it with Naruto becoming Hokage. End it with the ceremony of him donning the Hokage cloak, and that's it. End it right there. We don't need to know more about his story. And it's not even his story. It's the story of his offspring. No one fucking cares.
Okay, Hotshot. Here's the thing, though. At the end of Shippuden, Kakashi is still Hokage. We have yet to have seen
I know, and that's
Naruto
totally fine.
become Hokage in Shippuden. That's a fact.
Okay, then this is what you do. You carry on Shippuden a little bit with Kakashi as Hokage, like maybe a couple filler episodes or something. But then the way you end it is a time-lapse episode where Naruto becomes Hokage.
I understand your point of view of carrying it on and everything, and then just cap it at that. But the fact of the matter is, Naruto is a beautiful thing, all right? And
yeah,
it's one of, in my opinion, as a shonen fan, it's one of those beautiful things that I can't get enough of. It's one of those animes. We all have that one anime we wish never ended, right? You know what I mean?
I do, but at the same time with Naruto, I wish it did end, and that's the problem.
All right, Hotshot. I understand your point there, but there are some good things that come out of Boruto. You've talked about how much you enjoy Sarada as a character. There are redemption arcs. Sakura, listen to me, Hotshot here. Sakura is a way better character in Boruto. There's a lot more to her here. She's actually packing way more of a punch. Boruto
only took her 3 incarnations of a show, and only now is
third time's the charm. Hotshot.
Well, it should have been the first.
I agree to disagree. Okay, and the thing is too here, Hotshot. Boruto has his complexities, and he has layers, right? The bond with his father, his confusion whether he wants to be Hokage or not, his undying attitude of just wanting to do the right thing, his moral compass always screwing with him throughout the anime. He thinks with his heart, not with his head. You know, there's a lot here to this character, and we see him grow through Boruto, and it's a beautiful story. And it even has those bad things that you hate about Naruto, fillers. Hotshot. It has that thing you can complain about. You know, the narrative structure is still here, and I'm trying to illustrate my points here. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
I see what you're trying to say, and I won't fault anyone for like making like Boruto having layers or anything like that. Like if you do that with a character, that's great. That's totally fine because I mean it shows character growth. It shows you actually caring for the character and paying attention to what they like, what they don't like, and trials for them specifically that they can overcome. My problem is it's enough. Like we don't need a futuristic Naruto show. That was kind of the whole charm of Naruto. It was all in the same kind of time frame. It just like the biggest jump difference we had was 3 years, and that one was explained because the first one ended with Naruto going to Purple Sage to train, Sasuke was with Orochimaru to train, and Sakura was with Tsunade to train. That 3-year hiatus was explained, and then they come back and we have Shippuden. This one just Shippuden ends, and then all of a sudden 5 years later, or however long, 12 years later, 20 years later, I don't know how long actually passed, and then all of a sudden Naruto's just Hokage. He has two children with Hinata, which we all knew he would. Sakura is married to Sasuke, even though he's never home. And then everyone else just hooked up. And it's just kind of, don't get me wrong, I would have loved to see like one special episode where like we do see in the future of the Leaf Nine and everyone else where maybe we did meet Boruto, maybe we did meet Sarada, maybe we did meet all of these characters that are in now. But just one special, just kind of like how they're off, not a long-running series. I don't feel like it's needed.
Okay, you're obviously entitled to your opinion, but the thing is here, answer me this question. Okay, Hotshot. The undying Naruto fan that needs more after Shippuden. Where do they go, Hotshot? That they need more. Where do they go?
Go back and watch the original.
You've watched it a bajillion times. We need a new place to go, Hotshot.
Watch it a bazillion times more.
Hotshot, listen. We need a new place to... It's in the title.
Write a fan fiction.
The next generation. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Naruto, when we watched it, how old were we? Like 12, 13, 10? You know, that range, right?
Right.
It's been 10 years. What about those 12, 13-year-olds right now? Our
watched the original.
Boruto is their Naruto. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, then they wrong. I don't understand why. Because if you're a fan of Naruto, or if you're a fan of... Yeah, they're in the show, they're in the movie, they're in Boruto's universe, and they all have moved on. Naruto is Hokage, which we all wanted to see happen. But it's just, from what I've seen and from what I've experienced, they're all kind of dicks.
How so?
I mean, Naruto, like, he's taking his responsibility as Hokage as an absolute priority, right? Like, he's taking his role as Hokage seriously, trying to further the village, trying to help protect the village and everything. But he's lost all of the drive that made Naruto, like he was always the first line in a fight. He was always just willing to throw his line off. And now, all of a sudden, he's just behind a desk, just constantly talking like finances and stuff like that with like helping the village and that kind of business stuff. And even on Himawari's birthday, he sends a shadow clone to his family, a family he's never had, and the real him is just still in the Hokage office.
Right, but you need some sort of struggle, Hotshot. And
you do, but not if it goes against the character, the core character that built.
But this isn't Shippuden Naruto
place.
anymore. It's Boruto Naruto, right? They're the same character, but at different time periods. So there's a big difference that's made here. And the other thing I want to bring up to you, also Hotshot, you just made me think of, is like you said, you know, Naruto becomes Hokage and it ends there, right? That was your perfect worldview.
That was my ideal end.
Okay,
for
perfect.
Naruto, yeah.
We see him through 700 plus episodes talking about wanting to become Hokage and how he's going to do great things when he becomes Hokage. Like, I think, honestly, him becoming Hokage and then cutting it there, but what? Like, let's see all the great things he's going to do, right?
Okay, I will give you a point on that one. I mean, one of my favorite quotes from Naruto in the original Naruto, on top of it, is when he's fighting Neji. And when he's doing the final blow,
change the
way of the Hyuga clan after I become Hokage.
And guess what, Hotshot?
Like, that is still one of my favorite quotes that Naruto has ever said to anyone.
And guess what, Hotshot? It's happening in Boruto. These things that we enjoyed, these things that were left unsaid, you know, example, Kurenai's baby, I picked her as one of the greatest anime heroes 3.0 at this point. I get it. There are some really great things in there. The whole guy in Kakashi arc, visiting the hot springs was so raw, clean as Ninja Pal-esque that you would love that arc. Okay? The is it Kaguya clan? No. What's the final clan at the end of Naruto?
It is Kaguya Udasuki.
That clan, Kaguya's clan. No, that was right. Kaguya's clan is back. The after them, there's
Okay, let me stop you there.
Yeah.
This series is coming after the Fourth Great Ninja War, a war that would literally, if Naruto and the Allied Shinobi forces lost, keep in mind the Allied Shinobi forces are the shinobi who have been fighting for generations over 3 great ninja wars and are still fighting. Now, in this final Fourth Great War, they all come together, they all battle against the singular threat that is Madara Uchiha and the fucking mother of all ninjutsu. She says that herself, and to the point where all galaxies and worlds will be obliterated and all ninja will be erased if she wins the war over Naruto and the Allied Shinobi forces. That is what we are coming off of, and we're thrown in to the daily life of Naruto's son.
But you're oversimplifying it so much, Hotshot.
Okay, wait, no, that actually reminded me. Kaguya said she was the last. Like, she said she had come back and that she was the last. And it annoys the living hell out of me when, like, the last or whenever final or something like that shows up and then there's always more. It annoys the crap out of me.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but, it's the case still. And the fact of the matter is, these ancestors of Kaguya are really great villains. I picked up one of them for the greatest anime villains 2.0, and I really like what they're doing here. They're capturing chakras. They got Mitsuki's Sage mode chakra. They're going around and they have these evil plans. Right now there's a whole arc on the One Tail. Remember Shukaku? Gaara's son is in charge of bringing Shukaku back to the Leaf Village because the ancestors of Kaguya are after him, and it's a great arc. There's a lot of action. There's great battles. Like, there's really a lot of amazing things in Boruto. It's rough around the edges. I get it. The daily life of Naruto's son. That is oversimplified in the sense that, like, it's not just Naruto's son. It's the entire class, right? It's the entire generation. It's all the father and mothers of all of them. It's all the struggles, and they revisit amazing things like the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist. There's a whole arc on the Mist Village that's amazing. Orochimaru's still around. There's a whole Jugo arc where Jugo goes crazy, and we revisit old characters. We even have descendants of old characters, what's his name? The guy with who killed Asuma, Joshin guy.
Hidan?
Yeah, there's a descendant of Hidan in there that's trying to, like, screw things up. There are a lot of things that make reference to Naruto, and guess what? Naruto is still there. And Naruto is still a huge part of the anime. They have the Chunin exams arc. Like, there's a lot of resembling things that are pursued, and there might not be done as well because the original is obviously better in the eyes of everyone. But regardless, there's still a lot of great things to work with here and to enjoy if you are a Naruto fan.
Okay, I'm gonna say this straight up. Jaden, you're included in this. If anyone who's listening to this likes watching Boruto, I honestly continue liking it. I have no ill will against you or anyone, and I'm not going to tear that apart. It's just everything I'm obviously saying is just my opinion from where I'm coming from. If you like this show, if you love the characters, if you like this one more than Naruto, more power to you. And I will be the first to admit that both Naruto and Shippuden questions that I did want answered. Like, I do want to learn about the Seven Swordsmen, or I want to learn more about Anko and where she came from, or I want to learn what happened to Kurenai's baby, or, like, all of this does have potential to continue, and I will not tear that apart. I will not say that, like, okay, that's it, it's over, we're done, everything can just be left ambiguous, and that's all she wrote.
Right.
I just have an issue with next generation stuff. And it's not even just Naruto. It's just like even Dragon Ball. When we had Dragon Ball, we had Goku as a kid, right?
Yeah.
And then Dragon Ball Z, we had him as an adult, and even when he died and when Gohan took over for a while, we still got Goku back. In Dragon Ball GT, yes, not canon, but still Goku's story. And even Dragon Ball Super focused around Goku and the entirety of everyone around him. Like we've had these characters. We know these characters. Gohan is still Gohan grown up. Like Goku had a kid. That kid grew up. Goku is still the star, not someone that we don't know. I don't know. It's just a really weird thing with me and next gen stuff. Like I'm curious to see what the future holds for everyone in that universe. But it's just when a series has reached such a perfect end that it fits for everything, like, yeah, maybe some stuff doesn't get explained and that does suck. But when the big picture ends in such a way, I feel like it should just stay ended.
Right, but I don't feel like it's the perfect ending because of all those loose ends. There's too many loose ends for it to be a perfect ending. There's too many loose ends, Hotshot. Like, there's so many things still. All those things I've named prior to this. There's enough material to do a series. Do you know how many arcs Boruto is at?
No.
Right now, as we're recording, how many arcs do you, if you had to guess? There's been about 120 some episodes. 14 arcs. It's rapid fire.
Okay.
It moves. It's active. There's movement.
That doesn't make it good.
It does make it good because it's to the point, and there's really good action, there's really good plot, and there's really good villains that come at every corner. And some of these...
Okay, Naruto, original Naruto had 220 episodes. Do you know how many arcs that had?
How many arcs? Oh, yeah. No, I had... I'm going to say it had... Are you counting the whole After the Retrieval arc?
No, because that's just filler.
Okay, so that doesn't count as anything. Okay,
No.
so you had Naruto at the beginning. You had the Mist Village, the whole Zabuza thing, Chunin exams, learning the Rasengan. Then you had Sasuke Retrieval, right? So 5, 6?
Like 5, 6 if you count everything, like filler arc and everything after Sasuke Retrieval arc. But my point is they took the time to slowly take their time with these stories, develop everything around them.
They also had a crap ton of filler.
Wait, what?
They also had a crap ton of filler. Just want to add on to that point. Boruto has less filler than Naruto. Less filler in Boruto.
I'm not going to say that it's perfect and that everything in it is canon or that you have to pay attention to everything in it. I'm not going to say that. But everything that actually does matter, like let's take the Tsunade Retrieval arc. Telling Naruto about the Rasengan, like slowly learning the mastery of the Rasengan, eventually meeting Tsunade and actually diving into her psyche, like she's the world's greatest medical ninja, but she's afraid of blood. And then we find out why and find out what she went through. And then we get her turn around after she gets the offer of being the 5th Hokage. She doesn't immediately say yes and then comes around because Naruto essentially sacrifices himself to save her. Like if Tsunade wasn't there to save him, he would have died. But it's just... like, it takes the time to actually, like, the actual core of the arc, it takes the time to build around those characters and takes its time. Like, if you're wanting to world build and if you're wanting to storytell, doing it slowly and letting you absorb everything in it is the better way to do it, as opposed to, look at this new flashy villain.
Right. I mean, it's a different pace. It's a different rhythm. The thing is, you have to take into consideration when this occurred in the 2000s, 2010s, almost 2020s, right? The fact of the matter is, anime has become much faster. To illustrate this point, how many anime series are just 12 episodes? We've seen a lot. It's more prevalent now that there's just shorter animes. Boruto kind of takes that as being part of the newer generation of anime. We need to pack more into these episodes. There needs to be just, boom, next thing, boom, next thing, boom. And the fact of the matter is, as I watch more anime throughout the years, I've seen this growth and I've adapted to it, and I've enjoyed Boruto because of it.
I won't deny that I'm probably coming into this really close-minded, but again, that is completely because of how closely I hold Naruto to my heart, where like I feel like, yeah, it should have ended, that should have been what we had. Open to meeting new characters, and I am open to meeting like who's going to take over for the Leaf. But I mean, if you're just going to tell the same story of just like someone else training in order to like save their village or become Hokage or anything like that, like I understand that there's going to be conflict. I do understand that unlike Naruto, Boruto doesn't have his dream set in stone. Like he doesn't have a goal set in mind for himself that like I want to be Hokage. No, I don't. I want to do something else. I want to give up on this whole ninja thing. Now I want to be Hokage. I even like the wishy-washy on that, like him deciding whether or not to be Hokage. I'm honestly completely fine with, because yeah, over the course of your life you are going to change your mind several hundred times, every aspect of your life, not just what you want to do with it.
Especially at such
Like,
a young
I'm
age.
fine, but it's just the fact that like if you know the story, you know where it's probably going to go. He's probably going to settle on trying to become the next Hokage, and then we're just thrown into like the trials that he has to overcome, the fights that he overcomes, how he grows, and what power he gets, the bonds that he builds, the bonds that break. It really is essentially just more Naruto, just like with a flashier edge and a futuristic vibe. That is honest to God what I see when I see anything in Boruto. Like, yeah, the characters might be different and might have might have that kind of thing or spin to it, or like might have a new thing to bring to the table as opposed to what we've seen in the past. But even with a different spin, calling a rose by any other name is still calling it a rose. Like, it's going to be the exact same thing.
I still think there's enough difference for Boruto to be a stand-alone series. You can literally watch Boruto without having watched Naruto Shippuden or Naruto the original series. That's just the fact of the matter. Because it's the story of a new character.
If you do, like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that they do a series like that where, like, if you don't know Naruto, like if you're 12 now, and if you didn't know about Naruto, didn't know about Naruto Shippuden, and you just start watching Boruto and end up liking it, totally fine. Just go ahead, watch it, enjoy it. And that is, like you said, it is their Naruto. And yeah, I said, well, they're wrong in the beginning, but they're not. If they enjoy it as much as we did with Naruto as a kid, totally justified. I mean, there's people out there who enjoyed like the original My Little Pony, and then there's people who enjoyed Friendship is Magic, i.e. me. So obviously there's going to be different iterations, there's going to be different generations for it to come, different generations for different people, and I feel like Boruto just passed my generation. I just can't get into it that much.
All right, let's get to the bare bones of this. What's holding you back the most?
Holding me back the most is the thing that I've been saying this entire time. I feel like Naruto should have ended at Shippuden.
Perfect.
Like,
okay,
yeah, it
perfect.
keeps going.
I want to go through something. What's the next thing that's holding you back the most after that?
I have dived a little bit into Boruto, and from what I've seen, he's just a little rat. Like, I can't get into his character.
Okay, this is exactly the point I wanted to bring it, because I knew this was gonna go here. On many podcasts, on many lists and characters we've picked and yada yada yada, you always go back to character, because you've told me on multiple occasions on and off the podcast that character very, very important to you. So what's the biggest difference between Naruto and Boruto to you?
Brash, always jumped into a fight, always just kind of jumped into it, like, but he still understood and respected his mentors. Like, even though he said, don't do this, shows what you know, and then he does it anyway. And yeah,
well, it's more like he
fucks
grew
up.
to respect them, I think.
He grew to respect him, yeah, because, I mean, take Iruka, for example. He grew from nothing. Naruto grew from nothing, and Iruka was the one that was always by his side.
Right.
So, obviously, Naruto is always going to take his word as gold. He's going to trust Iruka, and yeah, he acts out because that's how he gets Iruka's attention, or because of, like, how much of a failure he was as at ninjutsu or anything like that. But then when push came to shove, like, someone hurting Iruka, Naruto steps up. And, like, even when he was just with Sasuke, when he was just hating on him because he was the cool guy, and then all of a sudden he becomes his rival. Like, he's the one that he wants to fight. He's the one whose respect he wants. Or even just the crush on Sakura. Like, there's different emotions and different readings he gives to everybody instead of just brushing it off like, whatever. And it's just, that's the vibe I get from Boruto. Like, Boruto just doesn't really care.
About what? What are you trying to say? It doesn't really care.
he doesn't care about like really anything. Like he just wants to do his own thing and doesn't care like how much of an inconvenience it is for anyone or like what they all want to do.
I severely disagree. He cares a lot. His moral compass being all screwed around and using his heart over his head all the time is the biggest proof that he cares. He has so many hardships with his father, and he grows to care. And in the tuning exams, all he wants is his father to be proud of him, and all he wants is to succeed. And that leads him down a dark path with the whole scientific ninja tool. So you can't say that he doesn't care, Hotshot. Come on.
I can't say that he doesn't, but at the same time, when he's told what he's doing and what he's doing is in the wrong way, he instantly just closes himself out. Just like, fuck
But
you.
he
No,
grows
it's not, I'm
and
right.
learns from it. He's still a kid.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's what we've seen with Naruto. Like, we've seen him where he wants to impress others, or like he wants like validation, or he wants to prove that he can do it quickly or anything like that. Like he wants validation, and then when he gets it wrong, just kind of like he never gives up. That's his entire thing, just never give up. And I feel like Boruto does. Like when things don't go his way, he just stops and has to be talked into doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I loved watching Naruto so much, because he overcame his own struggles. He didn't need like anyone going, there, it'll be okay. The only time he did was when Pervy Sage died. And even then, that was Uruka, the person who's been with him from the beginning, coming back to him and coming back to get him. That's the only time I've seen Naruto shut down and cave in. Boruto just kind of does it every time something doesn't go his way.
I have two more things I want to bring up. Do you think it's fair? Boruto obviously comes after Naruto, and so automatically it gets compared to Naruto because of that. Should we not just give it a chance as its own standalone?
No, you're right. That's not fair, because like your father's Hokage, you were expecting great things from you. That's totally not
No,
fair.
I'm talking about a series in general, though. Like the next generation comes after Shippuden in the same year. It ends in 2017. Boom, new generation 2017 as well. Like, how is that fair for Boruto to have the same chance, the same opportunities as Naruto, when it always gets compared to the original source? I understand that people, it's like with the Netflix live action, you know? I was guilty of it. I kept, I was like, oh, I was trying to be like, this is an American version of it, but it's still Death Note. But like with this, it's not Naruto, it's Boruto. It's still some characters from Naruto, but it's like give it a chance on its own. You know what I mean?
I can understand what you're saying. I really can. It's just, I feel like, and myself included on this, and again, you have to understand I'm coming into this without seeing any of it and without really knowing a whole lot of it. What I know is some clips I've seen and the bit in the game that I played. That's really about it. On the surface, when you look at Boruto, you're getting the same story that Naruto said. You're getting the story of his son growing up and eventually going to overtake, like, it's going to be his future. And then I think it just kind of sets the stone of like, okay, we've seen Naruto grow, now we're going to see Boruto grow, and then after that, are we going to see someone else grow, or is it going to stop? Like, we're getting into the point where we feel like it's just going to never end. And I mean, if there's one thing that people do bitch about on anime, it is if their series never ends. Like, there's probably some hardcore One Piece fans out there who are happy that it's still going, but then there's everyone else in the community who's just like, please stop. It just directly gets compared to it because on the surface, we feel like we're getting fed the same thing.
Right.
Like, and I will agree with you that it's not fair. Because yeah, it is obviously going to be different with new, like there's new tech in the village, new characters, younger characters are now mentoring. Obviously they're going to have a different style. Like Konohamaru is going to have a different teaching style than Kakashi had. And everything is going to be different. Everyone has their own spin, but it should try to keep the same flow and same kind of pace as what made Shippuden, what made Naruto popular in the first place. Because that's why people... That's why people, myself included, love them so much. Was because of the pacing. Was because of, again, seeing that we might be getting the same thing again. Like, we would be over the moon. It's just, we've been down this road before. Like, give us something else.
Well, it's a different road, is the point I keep repeating. But I think I understand where you stand, and it's a fair point. What I really enjoy about this is that you are ticked off. You know what I mean? Like, this is like not angering you, but this is like kind of you are firmly stood on this, and there's passion and there's frustration in your arguments because I'm kind of trying to like, hey, look at this way. You're like, no, I don't want to look that way, and I really enjoy that, right?
Right.
Okay.
Sorry, wrong pipe.
All good. And what I'm trying to get at here is what you enjoyed the most about Boruto was the video game, is what I understood. So I wanted to kind of highlight the video game and talk about it a little bit before slowly but surely closing things off, because I think we've talked enough about like your point of view on this.
Yeah, I think people know where I stand.
Yes, so go ahead with the game itself.
So the game, what you play in Boruto is so it's an add-on onto Naruto Ninja Storm 4. There's an add-on called Boruto's Tale where you play through Boruto's movie. So the entire thing of like Boruto coming out and this scientific ninja tool, Kaguya's descendants fighting against them, like that entire thing comes out. In the game, like as the characters, they play good. I like their moves. I really like Sarada's Chidori and Fire style. Like I really like the way she plays. But it's just when they're talking or when they're just like again, this is coming back to the point to where like Naruto uses a clone to go to his daughter's birthday instead of the actual him, instead of leaving the clone at the Hokage office. Like Naruto has never had that family. I can kind of understand why, but at the same time, he has that family now. He's had what he's always wanted. I know his goal has always been Hokage and hasn't really been like having a family. He's been with his mom. He's been with his dad. He knows what that's like. And he knows how big of an impact they had and how much of an impact they would have had if they were around when he was younger, when he was raised with them, and wanted more of that. So it just kind of goes against me to have Naruto do that kind of thing. Anyway, that's a whole different spin.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes shot for shot on the movie, where it goes through Boruto's first mission, or Boruto training with Konohamaru, then Boruto getting signed up for tuning exams and using the scientific ninja tool, or wanting to learn from Sasuke, who, by the way, is a massive prick, in my opinion.
We've gone over this in the Hyuga Uchiha podcast.
We've gone over that a million times. Just he's on a whole different level in Boruto in my eyes. I don't know. It's just I like the way the characters play. I like their moves, and they react well enough off each other. It's just I like them as playing them. I just don't want anything to do with them.
Yeah, fair enough. Is that everything you had to say?
That's really everything I got on the game. Yeah. Again, it's really a shot by shot retelling of the original Boruto's movie.
That enjoyment of it clearly does not translate into potential viewing of the original source. Okay. And what blocks that? Sorry, what blocks that?
Like going through the game and meeting the other characters. Like I like Konohamaru when he's older. I love Sarada. I even like
Mitsuki.
Is it Mitsuki? The Orochimaru's kid? Okay. I kind of like him too. And it's just like I like the squad. I just don't like Boruto. Like, don't tell me you fell asleep again. Yeah, I'm fine. We're fine.
Mm-hmm.
We're okay. Again, when like I don't see how they actually fight or anything, like that's entirely up to you in game, so I don't see how they actually react to each other off combat or in missions or anything like that. But it just kind of, when I can punch Boruto's face, that is when I like him.
All right, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Anime Podcast. No, I'm kidding. Could you?
Okay, I actually thought you were ending it there. I'm like, okay, just kind of out of the blue, but whatever.
No. Okay, well, I mean, clearly mine not changed. Clearly you're never gonna watch Boruto, but still, very fun conversation regardless.
I probably will.
Oh, what? Mission accomplished.
Hear me out. I still stand firmly where I feel like it shouldn't exist. I feel like it was just kind of a cash grab decision, and I feel like it was just pointless overall. But when you love something as much as, like, say, I love Naruto, it kind of deserves the benefit of the doubt, because it's still a branch off of that, and it still does introduce new characters. It does try some new things. It is a story that we've seen before, but it does it in a different way. And as someone who loves comics so much that one version of Batman could just be like your standard, I am the vigilante of the night, and another could be blasting vigilantes' heads off with a shotgun point blank, it deserves kind of that same treatment as comics, where it's a different version, or yeah, everything's still canon, but it's a different version of the same kind of story. So I feel like it is worth viewing. It is worth at least looking into. Is it going to be one of my favorites? Probably not, but it is still worth looking into, if not for the sake of just completing Naruto's entire saga.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. All right. I'm very happy that you're gonna give it a try, Hotshot. That's awesome. This is good.
Yeah, it's on my list.
You
but
know
how
what?
long that
That's
list is,
what
so don't
I
guarantee
wanted
anything
it to be on the
soon.
list. That's all I wanted. So, Hotshot, tonight, myanimelist.com/profile/caution ginger. Add that stuff there. Always plug. All right, Hotshot. I think we don't even need to do final thoughts. Let's just, plug away, my friend. Let me know what you are up to. Halloween's coming up. What any plans for Halloween, Hotshot?
Yep, there is one planned for Halloween, but I'm still not going to tell you guys what it is. I am going to say that in the next week or so, me and Kyo are going to be recording for it, and he is going to be working on the storyboard and animating for it. So if everything goes according to plan, it will be coming out close to Halloween time. And where it is going to be coming out is going to be over on my channel at Hotshot Ginger on YouTube. You guys can also follow me on Twitter at Caution Ginger. And you guys can find me over here in Jaian whenever he decides that he wants to do a podcast and I say yes against my will.
You're not on me. You're on my channel, right? No.
No, I'm on you. People will believe I'm on you and you are my chair. People make fan art of this. Stat. Go.
JaianMusic.com. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you in the next. No, okay. All right. In all seriousness, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. Follow the podcast on Facebook, facebook.com/anime podcasters. You can also find us on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube, youtube.com/JaianMusic. And you can also follow me on Twitter at JaianMusic. Join my Patreon, patreon.com/JaianMusic. And if you want to hire me for audio services, maybe not voiceover right now because I got the coughs going on. You can still hire me for mixing and mastering, for audio restoration, composition, anything musical you need. I am there for you. So check out JaianMusic.com. That's going to be everything for the podcast. For myself, for Hotshot, GoProkyo, and everyone else in the same pod logo of Anime Podcasters, this has been another episode, and we will see you in the next episode of
Anime
featuring Boruto. Bye.
Podcasters. Bye.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Anime Podcasters. If you would like to support the podcast, you can find audio downloads on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and Google Play. If you would like to support the voices in this podcast, follow their links in the description and the Twitter handles on screen. See you next time, leaves.